First of all, we welcome the proposal of Agnes, and we will work together to advocate for a mechanism. We've been working in the case of Daphne Caruana Galicia and Jan Kuciak together with families. We have here Peter Bordy from Actuality.sk, the editor-in-chief of Actuality.sk, on the investigations and also on state responsibility. I think this mechanism will be particularly important on state responsibility. So in terms of what happened in Malta, we heard from Matthew, there are investigations which are not effective, whereas in Slovakia we've seen investigations which by the family, Peter and the other journalists there, they're seen to be effective. But what we've seen there is complete lack on state responsibility. There isn't anyone in Slovakia looking at the state responsibility, whether the state failed to protect the life of Jan Kuciak and Martina Kušnirova. We know that Jan, before he was killed, he reported threats, and there is no follow-up on whether those threats were taken seriously and whether other journalists, if they report threats, whether they will be taken seriously. So for us, it's very important that either existing mechanisms or the new mechanism focus quite a lot on state responsibility. The other point that I wanted to make is the importance of practical support for families. In the case of Daphne, and because I work closely with the family, it has become a full-time job for Matthew and also Corinne, Daphne's sister, to seek justice. They are instead of grieving, they're forced to litigate just because it's very difficult to get justice. And I think it's very important to provide practical support for them, either financial support to pay lawyers' fees. We know Daphne has 19 active defamation cases, and the family has to defend her work. In the case of Jan Kuciak, if you want to seek justice, that costs. So this is the reason why we have partnered with Free Press Unlimited to offer this support. And also the other important aspect, I think, is the legal advice that you get. We're very lucky to be in a team with Doggy's Free Chamber lawyers. Keelan is here, also with Tony Murphy and Jonathan Price, with whom we're preparing different opinions of state responsibility. Recently, we've instructed them to look at the state responsibility in Slovakia because, as I said, this is very important for us. The last element, and I think this is the preventive element of this mechanism, is that we have to pay closer attention to the alarming signals that we get before journalists are being assassinated. We know what happened to Daphne, and we also know that Robert Fico, former Prime Minister of Slovakia, organized smear campaigns against journalists. But we know that this only after journalists were killed. And I think it's very important to focus on the environment in which they work. And the last thing that I want to say is, of course, to mention the horrible situation in Western Balkans. You have the same environment in which Daphne and Jan Kuciak work. You have now the same situation in Albania, where the Prime Minister of Albania, Edi Rama, refers to journalists as trash bins. The same is in Kosovo. The president of Kosovo, Hashim Thaci, is trying to imitate Donald Trump. The same is in Serbia, Vučić organizing smear campaigns. And it would be a pity if we start taking these alerts seriously only when journalists are killed. So it's very important to take this seriously before something happens.
Thank you, Flutura. And I think you hit on something very important, which is there is an early warning system. And